Did ChatGPT release anything for its second birthday? Why are Elon and OpenAI fighting again? Are we all going to be working AI jobs at Uber? And is ChatGPT going to start shoving ads down our faces? So many AI questions this week. We've got your AI answers. What's going on, y'all? My name is Jordan Wilson, and welcome to Everyday AI. If you're maybe wondering some of those questions this week as you're looking to grow your company and grow your career, don't worry. We're going to be here with some answers. If you're new here, thank you for joining us. We do this every single day. Everyday AI, it's for you. This is your daily live stream podcast and free daily newsletter, helping us all learn and leverage generative AI to grow our companies and our careers. So if you're listening on the podcast, thank you as always. Make sure to check out your show notes. There's a ton in there. But most importantly, maybe is a link to our website at youreverydayai.com. Make sure you go sign up for our free daily newsletter. So yeah, on Mondays, we bring you the AI news that matters. So you don't have to waste hours every single day wondering how AI is going to impact your career or your company. On Mondays, you can spend time with us, but we do this Monday through Friday, every single day, bringing on some of the best guests in the world, and you can ask them questions and get answers live, right? And you can also go to our website at youreverydayai.com. We have more than 400 episodes. You can go listen to old podcast episodes on our site. You can watch videos on our site. You can read. There's thousands of hours of free generative AI content, so make sure you go to youreverydayai.com. All right, enough chit chat. Let's get into the AI news that matters for this week. And thank you, as always, to our live stream audience for joining us. Michael and Sam and Philip joining on YouTube, and Brian and Jay saying that he's in everyday AI withdrawal from the Thanksgiving holidays. So yeah, excited to be back with you guys all, and Rolando and Marie and Woozy and Fred and Christopher, everyone else. All right, let's get into it, y'all. So OpenAI's SORA. We haven't heard about that in a while. What's going on? Well, OpenAI's new text-to-video AI tool, SORA, is kind of embroiled in a little bit of a controversy following a leak by early access artists, highlighting tensions between tech companies and creative communities. So the artist posted in a Hugging Face space as PR puppet SORA. So these artists were granted free access for testing, and they accused OpenAI of using them as quote unquote PR puppets. That is why the name of the Hugging Face space there was called PR puppet SORA. So they accused OpenAI of using them as puppets instead of genuine collaborators, revealing a rift over the company's approach to artist involvement. So yeah, essentially, late last year, or no, early this year, so almost 10 months ago, a group of select creatives got access to OpenAI SORA, but there was some processes, right? You had to sign some documents. You had to say, hey, we're going to get these things approved through OpenAI before we release them. You know, OpenAI has said that was to kind of control, not necessarily control the quality, but to make sure harmful content was not getting out through its new SORA tool. But these new artists that just posted this online, are not liking the terms that they signed up for. So according to their statement on Hugging Face, around 20 artists claim they were misled into unpaid labor, arguing OpenAI exploited their creative input for marketing despite the company's $150 billion valuation. So the group criticized restrictions requiring OpenAI's approval for SORA-generated content publication, suggesting the process was more about promoting the tool than fostering creativity. So in protest, these artists leaked SORA access. So through a back-end API, and they posted all of this, essentially a Python script on Hugging Face, allowing people to use SORA. It was only up for a couple of hours. I went in and tried it out. So it did really put some pressure on OpenAI, and OpenAI quickly shut this down. So they responded by suspending SORA's early access 3 hours post-leak, defending its voluntary program and emphasizing the valuable contributions of hundreds of artists. So not all participants, though, agreed with the dissenters, as a lot of artists went online and supported OpenAI, stating that this protest from a select few did not reflect the majority view. So the incident adds to existing scrutiny over SORA's training practices, with concerns about potential use of YouTube content raising ethical and legal questions. So we did cover this in our newsletter last week, y'all. So I'm curious, though, what does our live stream audience think? I'm going to give you my takes on this. So did these artists make a point? Right? So they essentially said, hey, the whole world has wanted this SORA tool. We're going to, create a kind of a technical back door and allow people to use SORA. Well, number one, it took forever. It took, if you were very early, you could get it out in a couple minutes. But for most part, kind of in the middle of this 3-hour wave, it took like an hour. So could people really use it? Not really. And did these artists make a point? I don't know, right? You're signing up for something, right? When you get early access to a program, you are essentially signing away your ability to make money, right? If a company, any AI company says, hey, we're going to give you early access to these tools, here's the rules. Do you want in? Yes or no? I mean, that's what you're signing up for. So I'm not quite sure what this group of kind of rogue artists was hoping to accomplish, but I think if anything, they just brought more eyeballs to SORA, right? We hadn't been talking about it a lot recently, and anyone that follows the show, I've been saying all along that we're not going to get access to SORA until after the election. So, I would assume in the coming months that we're going to be getting access. But a couple of things actually came out from this leak, though. So yes, it just kind of was through an API backend. But we saw a couple styles, right? So that's interesting. So what that leads me to believe is that we are going to either have the ability to create images with SORA, or we'll see a DALL-E update that essentially uses the SORA engine. Also, it was called Turbo. That part is huge. So that indicates that OpenAI actually had different tiers or different models of SORA. So potentially Turbo version, which is the version that through this Hugging Face repo that people kind of got access to via the backend, it was a turbo version. So it was supposed to be faster. So a lot of people are saying, oh, this is the more powerful version. And I'm not necessarily sure about that. I think that whenever OpenAI does grant access to the rest of the world to SORA, I don't think we're going to be getting the most powerful version. If you think back to the Turbo, how OpenAI has used this in the past, normally it's actually a dummied down version. It's not the most powerful version, and it's just faster, right? So I don't necessarily think that when OpenAI does actually release this, that we're going to get the most powerful version. There's been early reports that we've talked about on the show that they're actually working on a new version of SORA. So I don't think when it does come out that we're going to be getting the most powerful version. We'll probably be getting this turbo version, or a version that sacrifices quality for speed. So I don't know if this worked. I think if anything, like I said, I think it just brought more eyeballs to SORA. And some of the generations were pretty impressive. Some weren't, but the ones that worked, right? The thing with these AI video models, just like anything with generative AI, they're a roll of the dice. But the dice, when you're talking about video, have way more sides to the die, right? So, I think that the floor is much lower. The ceiling is much higher. And for those generations that hit, they looked very impressive, better than literally anything else out there. So I think if nothing else, this just gave SORA more eyeballs, people talking about how good it was. Could this have been an internal leak? A lot of people are speculating that, oh, OpenAI did this. I don't know. That doesn't really seem like a marketing ploy out of their wheelhouse. I could be wrong. So, Fred is saying artists think differently. All right. So we'll see. All right, let's get to our next pieces of AI news, y'all. So Anthropic just been shipping. They have been shipping so much the last couple of weeks, when a lot of other big companies, put out previews, or they tease or wait lists. Anthropic, the maker of Claude, is shipping. So Anthropic has launched a new open source standard called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP, to improve AI models' access to data, potentially leading to more relevant and accurate responses. So MCP allows AI models to connect with various data sources, including business tools and content repositories, overcoming the limitations of isolated data systems. So according to Anthropic, MCP enables two-way connections between data sources and AI applications, simplifying the development process by offering a standard protocol instead of separate connectors. So Anthropic also has released pre-built MCP servers for platforms like Google Drive, Slack, and GitHub, with plans to offer other toolkits for broader organizational use. So right now, this initiative aims to create a sustainable architecture for AI systems, maintaining context across different tools and datasets. So despite its potential, the adoption of MCP faces challenges, particularly from competitors like OpenAI, which recently introduced a similar feature in its ChatGPT platform called Work with Apps. However, Work with Apps is a one-way street, and MCP from Anthropic is a two-way street. Work with Apps is very simple to set up. MCP, not as simple. So you do have to be a little more technical to be able to work with your kind of internal databases here with MCP, but it's an open, they open source this, right? So I do like that piece because, I think the open source community can take this MCP protocol and really run with it and really create some great ways to connect large language models with internal data sources in the very near future. So I do like Anthropic's approach here, even though you do have to be very technical, right? Just like as an example, we did this live on the show about a month ago, showing off Anthropic's new computer use, where you can essentially talk to Claude and it can literally run a computer like an agent. It's not very good yet, but I do like Anthropic's approach here. They're not teasing things, they're just shipping new helpful updates. Speaking of new updates, I don't know how helpful it is, we'll see, but Anthropic has also introduced customizable writing styles for Claude AI. So Anthropic is enhancing its Claude AI chatbot with new customizable writing styles, a move that could transform AI communication by allowing users to tailor responses to their preferences. So maybe we'll have less delving and less revolutionize or less in today's digital realm content out there, right? So this development is significant as it aims to make AI interactions more natural, less robotic, and more personalized. So there are 3 preset styles available for everyone. So right now, this is available also for free users, although it's much more limited. So the 3 preset styles available are formal for professional and precise responses, concise for short and direct responses, and explanatory for detailed explanation. But the standout feature is the custom style option, which allows users to upload writing samples and descriptions to teach Claude their preferred communication style, and then you can edit those. So over time, users can refine these custom styles, making the AI a better mimic of their personal writing tone and voice. So the introduction of these features raises questions about the role of AI in content creation and the potential blurring of lines between human and AI-generated content. So, is it any good? Meh. So, I'll say this, and let me explain this, all right? Because I know some people are going to get angry, but I like to tell people how it is. I use large language models like Claude, like ChatGPT, like Gemini, and then other platforms that leverage large language models, right? Like Perplexity. I use these hours a day, right? It depends on the week, but anywhere from 2 to 10 hours, right? I'm using large language models not just since they were released, before they were released, right? Since late 2020 is when our team started using, the early GPT technology. And my background is also as a journalist. So the 2 things I know most about right now in my life are writing and large language models, right? Out of the box, Claude is great. It is. It sounds less robotic than other large language models. I will say Claude is 1A, Google is 1B, and then ChatGPT is number 2 in terms of out of the box kind of content writing or the ability to sound human, right? But even with this new style preset here from Anthropic, it's not very steerable, right? It's kind of hard-headed, if I'm being honest. So if your writing style is kind of vanilla, and there's nothing wrong with that, then I think you'll like this. If you have a unique writing style, I don't think you're going to like this, right? So as an example, I did try this out. I was going to put it, do a review. I decided not to because I didn't think it was that great, if I'm being honest. One of the problems, right? How people write, it's a style. It's a cadence. And I think in my many hundreds of hours of experience, ChatGPT is still better at being steerable. And what that means, being able to improve and steer a tone of voice. Where Claude, like I said, is better out of the box, but even with this new style preference, I don't think it's very steerable. What you kind of get in the first iteration, even though you can go conversationally edit it, which I think is nice, it's not that great. And what people don't see on the back end, right? So let's say you generally write in short sentences and then you have multiple paragraph breaks, etc. It's just plain text, right? So you can do all that in your writing, but ultimately what Claude is seeing is plain text and it's jumbling it all in giant paragraphs, right? Which is not saying like a telltale sign of AI, right? But it just makes it hard to read. So hey, live stream audience, let me know, are you liking this? This new Claude style. We did put it in our newsletter, obviously. So let me know what you think. Hey, Justin, thanks for joining us. Justin said, long-time listener. I've been listening to you for a long time. First time seeing you live. Yeah. If you listen on the podcast, come join us live, right? It's fun. You can network with other people. Ask me questions if you have any. I'll try to do my best. All right. More AI news. So Alibaba. Their Qwen team has released a new experimental AI model named QWQ32B Preview. Love all these model names that are super easy to say. So this new model from Alibaba's Qwen team is a reasoning model. All right, so similar to OpenAI's O1. So this new model is notable for its 32.5 billion parameters, allowing it to handle prompts up to 32,000 words in length. So it is what they're hoping, what the Qwen team is hoping to be a rival to OpenAI's O1 model, which was originally codenamed Strawberry. Now we all know it is called O1, and it's designed to improved problem-solving skills. So yeah, the biggest difference between traditional large language models and reasoning models is essentially these reasoning models go through kind of a chain of thought process under the hood, doing kind of the initial prompting work that a human would normally do to drive better results. So these new reasoning models, right, it is kind of like a new tier. So you can't really compare, quote unquote, traditional large language models with reasoning models because they're very different in their functioning. So the new QWQ32B preview is one of the few AI models that fact checks itself, according to Qwen, reducing common errors, but also sometimes taking longer to find solutions. So right now, users can run and download QWQ from the AI development platform Hugging Face. And despite its advancements, the model has limitations, including potential language mixing and circular reasoning patterns, as noted by the company itself on its blog. So the model from Qwen comes just about a week after R1 Lite, which is the newest model from China-based startup DeepSeek. So yeah, in the last 10 days, we've gotten two reasoning models out of China. First, R1 Lite from DeepSeek, and now QWQ32B preview from Alibaba's Qwen team. Mouthful. Are we all going to be working for Uber? I don't know. Maybe. All right, our next piece of AI news. Uber Technologies is expanding beyond its ride-sharing origins by entering the AI development outsourcing market with a new division called Scaled Solutions. Interesting name choice there. So the move leverages Uber's gig economy expertise to provide AI model training and data labeling services, potentially reshaping its business model and opening new growth avenues. So Uber's entry is timely as global demand for human-vetted data to train AI models is increasing, highlighted by the success of companies like scale AI, right? So that's scale. That's this kind of scale AI's big thing, which is why I thought it was kind of, I'm guessing either strategic or ironic, or maybe a little bit of both, that Uber decided to name this new division Scaled Solutions when one of the leaders in this space is Scale AI. So, Uber is recruiting contractors with programming skills, language proficiency, and cultural knowledge in countries such as India, the US, Canada, Poland, and Nicaragua, among others. So, contractors will perform tasks like image labeling and text annotation, with earnings based on completed tasks, aligning with Uber's existing payment model. This is weird, y'all. Let's be honest. But I don't want to get into this. I don't want to get into this too deeply, but I'm on the record. My very first podcast, like 2 years ago, was AI is going to take way more jobs than it creates. And I do think, and I've said this before many times, traditional 9-to-5 jobs are going to be gone in a couple of years, right? Or at least look very, very differently, or a much fewer percentage of people having 9-to-5 jobs. So I don't want to get into the whole like AI is going to take all our jobs and universal basic income. That's not what this is about. But I think a lot of us in a couple of years are going to be having similar positions like this, where you are working in your area of expertise to help big tech companies gain, domain specific and niche knowledge. That's the future. I think we're all going to be having, maybe a handful of these kind of side gig freelance jobs in our area of expertise, maybe in addition or maybe in lieu of traditional 9-to-5. So I don't know. What do y'all think? It's kind of weird to think about, right? And people thought I was crazy when I said this until Reid Hoffman, one of the co-founders of LinkedIn, said the same thing. And then everyone's like, oh yeah, we should take a look at this and, relook this, 9-to-5 culture and, what full-time employment even means and the future of it, et cetera, right? When I said it, I was just weird. But when, some of the smartest people in the world say it, they're like, oh, okay, maybe we should think about this. But I mean, this Uber news, it's not surprising. It's not surprising, if I'm being honest. I think we're going to see a lot of other big tech companies shift to something like this, because the higher quality human data that we have to start with, right? Because one thing that we've seen is, unfortunately, we're seeing this cycle of AI regurgitation, right? So much of the quote unquote new content going into large language models training sets is created from AI. So, we're getting, unfortunately, this ugly cyclical data regurgitation thing where, that it's lower quality data going into, or I should say, lower quality new data that's going into the next version of models. So there is an increased emphasis on human created data, right? So turning all of our knowledge into data, but having humans do it, with working alongside, hand in hand, large language models. So it should be interesting to see how this one shakes out. So yeah, Fred is saying sounds like a security risk, maybe. 1A Lee from YouTube says, to be fair, you're not weird because you said the comments about jobs. That's good. I'm just weird for other reasons, right? Who else talks about AI every single day? It's extremely weird. All right. Our next piece of AI news, I'm excited about this one. So NVIDIA has unveiled Fugato, a groundbreaking generative model poised, I think, to transform audio synthesis by blending music, voices, and sounds in unprecedented ways. So this new model employs cutting-edge synthetic training methods and inference-level combination techniques, allowing it to create unique sounds that have literally never been heard before by human ears, right? Such as saxophones barking or voices, singing classical music underwater. So Fugato is not yet publicly available, and NVIDIA did not really release a lot of details about how, when, or if they would make the model publicly available, but a sample-filled website, which we linked to last week in our newsletter and we'll link to again, demonstrates its vast range of capabilities. So according to NVIDIA researchers, crafting a meaningful training dataset for Fugato posed challenges as it required revealing complex relationships between audio and language. So the team utilized a large language language model to generate Python scripts that create instructions for different audio personas, enhancing the model's ability to synthesize and modify sound traits. So existing audio datasets lacking inherent trait measurements were enhanced by using audio understanding models to create quote unquote synthetic captions, providing natural language descriptions that quantify traits like gender, emotion, and speech quality. So audio processing tools further analyze clips of an acoustic level, measuring aspects like fundamental frequency variance and reverb. All right, so I'm going to try this here. We haven't done this in a while, but let's go ahead and take a quick listen. So live stream audience, if you could, let me know if you're hearing this. Sometimes technology doesn't want me to share audio, but let's go ahead and take a listen here. Live stream audience, let me know if you can hear this, but we're going to listen to about 15 to 20 seconds from this NVIDIA kind of output here. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
Or direct immersive and shifting soundscapes for film or audio productions.
All right, so this is the video NVIDIA released, and here is the prompt that went, or the input that went into Fugato, and then you can hear the output. So they don't read this. So it says, create a sound where a train passes by and becomes a lush string orchestra. So you're going to hear that, and then the next two that they describe, you should be able to hear them. Here we go. That's very impressive. All right, let's listen to one or two more here quick.
Instructing Fugato to extract audio elements from a sound clip, such as isolating a voice track in a piece of music, is just as easy.
That is difficult to do. So Marie is saying, this is great. The train whistle turning into an orchestra. So let's listen to one more, but that was combining multiple prompts. So it was combining, or essentially multiple inputs. It was taking a flat music track, right, that had vocals and audio, and it separated them, which anyone that has worked in audio or video editing knows that is very, very hard and very time consuming. And up until generative AI has kind of been impossible. I think we're going to listen to one more here.
Fugato also allows you to generate new speech samples.
Kids are talking by the door.
So this input said, in a calm voice with an American accent, say, kids are talking by the door. All right, so let's listen to it, and then they're going to say how they modify it.
Kids are talking by the door.
And if you want a different delivery, Fugato can do that too.
Then it says, turn this calm voice into an angry voice. So again, like using your output as your input and then modifying it with text. Ready?
Kids are talking by the door.
Super impressive. We haven't really seen anything like this yet. So Jessica asking, will this work to clean up background noise on an old cassette tape? I think, Jessica, in theory, if NVIDIA releases it, that's what it can do with natural language, right? And yes, I do have quite a few contacts at NVIDIA. So there's a couple new NVIDIA kind of concepts or models that I'm going to try to get people on the show here. Suzanne on YouTube says, wow. Michael says, yes, there is the one that they changed the voice tone that we just heard. All right, let's get back to the AI news, and we're going to look at one more demo. So AI video models went crazy this week. So Luma Labs released their Dream Machine 1.5 update. So it enhanced realism and motion consistency. So this update also includes a mobile app. Users can also in Luma Labs now generate consistent characters. That's a big one. And it supports conversational interactions. So not just having to completely reprompt. So that's from Luma Labs Dream Machine 1.5. Then we got updates from LTX Video. So they released their tool as an open source option. Available on Hugging Face Spaces, allowing users to run their model locally. LTX video. Yeah, you will need a little bit of a power though. I think optimal performance, they said, if you want to run this LTX video locally, which the fact that you can create AI text to video models locally on a machine is wild. Considering like a year ago, you know, even what we have now, which we would consider terrible a year ago, was revolutionary. Revolutionary a year ago. So you can actually create pretty decent AI text to video videos, but you do need at least an NVIDIA RTX 4090 GPU, and I think that's like $2,000 for the chip. So yeah, you can run it locally, but you got to have a pretty powerful chip GPU there. And then last but not least, we have an update from Runway. So a couple things here. So one is their new expand video. So that's a feature that allows users to reframe existing videos into different formats, such as an example, going from a 9:16 or kind of a vertical video to a 16:9 and then filling it in and then doing it all over again. They also released an AI image generator called Frames, right? So they're going about it the backwards way, kind of, right? Starting with AI video, and now they released AI Frames. So Frames, it offers high quality photorealism and advanced stylistic control, enabling the creation of consistent aesthetics across different worlds. All right, so let's just quickly now take a look here for our live stream audience. At least you can see this new Frames feature. So let's go ahead and take a look, and I will try to narrate it for our podcast audience. So it's starting here with a 16:9 video, right? And then with a prompt, you can turn that into a vertical video. So it's creating, so it's this woman, you know, outside kind of looking, it's a close-up of a woman, presumably at a park or a waterfall, but you don't know. So then it adds all this new vertical information, and you see, oh yes, it is the top of a waterfall, but that is all AI generated. So what started as a close-up kind of horizontal video turned into a vertical video. So now you have all this new AI generated information above this woman's head showing a waterfall. Then you can take that as an example and expand it even more. So you can just keep expanding as an example, going from vertical to horizontal, and you add all this new things, and then you can turn that large one into verticals. And then we'll see it turns it back back and forth. So the same thing here, you have this second example of a man taking photos. It looks like in a cave, a vertical video, right? Turns it horizontal. So now you see the beginning of what looks like a little lake inside of a cave or something like that. And then you see this new information generated by AI that's, kind of like the top of the cave, or light peeking in that was not previously there. So we go from, horizontal video to vertical, at it with AI, and then again taking that and making it even more. So going multiple times, it really went from this close-up of this man taking this photo, and you don't really know what it is. You're like, okay, it kind of assumes it's a cave, and then it extends it, right, with this new generative extend, and adds, and you could just keep doing it more and more. It adds more detail, more visuals. This is a small feature that I'm personally pretty excited about. Yeah, Tara just said, wow. Shannon said, brilliant. Jackie said, great for various social post variations. Great point, Jackie, right? So if you shoot something vertical, right, and you want to share that maybe on YouTube, maybe you don't have something great. Well, you can use Runway. Pretty impressive, if you ask me. All right, we got a lot going on. Let's get to our last couple AI news stories. This one's weird. So a viral video that just kind of silently dropped right around the Thanksgiving holiday here in the US showed a small robot named Earby convincing larger AI-powered robots to leave their posts, raising concerns about AI's influence on human-like interactions. This is so weird. So the incident, reported by Sky News, occurred in August at a Chinese startups and was captured by closed-circuit TV recording, but was only recently surfaced online. So this little AI-powered robot, working its job at this Chinese AI startup, approached its larger AI robot companions, asking them if they were working overtime, to which the larger robot replied that it never gets off work. Then the small robot, Irby, I don't know what its name is, then invited it to quote unquote come home. Yes, there's actual transcripts. I don't know if this is a huge marketing stunt or what, or if this is just an eerie look into our future where AI robots are talking to each other. Anyways, Irby convinced them, and all of these other robots, I think there was 5 of them, literally quote unquote left their job, right, working here at this factory and went home. So unexpectedly, other robots joined, leaving their positions, which researchers did not anticipate, highlighting the potential oversight in AI programming. So the video has sparked discussions on social media, with users humorously referencing movies like iRobot and Terminator while expressing concerns about AI autonomy. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about this one. This is weird. It's very weird. It's very weird. But yeah, if you want to see that video, we'll be sharing it in our newsletter. All right. So does Notebook LM have some competition, at least when it comes to their AI generated podcast? Maybe so. So 11 Labs has launched a new feature called Gen FM, which is available on the 11 Labs Reader iOS app. So this enables users to create multi-speaker podcasts by uploading different types of content, such as YouTube videos, text, or documents. So this innovative feature supports 32 languages, including English, Hindi, Portuguese, Chinese, Spanish, French, German, and Japanese, making it accessible to a global audience. So like Notebook LM's audio overviews feature, where it creates a deep dive podcast, these 2 AI hosts, you can upload all of your content, and it creates a pretty engaging kind of 2-speaker piece of podcast, right? This does the same thing. So Gen FM from 11 Labs, it only works right now in their app, but it automatically selects 2 voices from over a dozen available options. So that kind of separates it or gives it a nice feature that Notebook LM does not have, adding human-like elements such as ums and ahs to create a more natural listening experience. So yeah. I know these AI generated podcast summaries can add ahs and ums, but can they add random hot bit, random rants like me? Can they drag on a news story that should take 30 seconds to read and turn it into 2 minutes like me, right? I say that, kind of tongue in cheek, but, maybe I should just be a little more concise here. All right. 2 last stories. We're saving some of the biggest ones for last. So, according to reports, OpenAI is considering advertising to boost its revenue. So OpenAI, valued at a reported $150 billion, is exploring advertising as a new revenue source, according to the Financial Times. So the company aims to capitalize on its leading position in the AI sector, with ChatGPT achieving over 250 million weekly users. So OpenAI is aiming to reach 1 billion users by next year by building new data centers, reflecting its growth ambitions following significant funding. So OpenAI's CFO, Sarah Fryer, has emphasized a thoughtful approach to implementing ads, ensuring they align with the company's growth strategy. So despite rapid revenue growth to about $4 billion annually, according to reports, OpenAI is facing higher costs, planning to spend over $5 billion a year in the near term. So yeah, they may be losing money, according to reports. But also, the company has been hiring advertising talent from tech giants like Meta and Google, indicating serious consideration of an ad model in the near term. So, CEO Sam Altman is reportedly warming up to the idea of ads, though internal discussions continue on how they might be integrated. OpenAI's revenue largely right now comes from its API and ChatGPT licenses, with the company is seeking more lucrative opportunities. So, Fryer noted that ad models can shift focus from users to advertisers, but see unexplored potential in current business strategies. So the move towards advertising reflects broader trends in the AI industry, where companies like Perplexity and Google are already piloting AI ad models or ads in their AI generates, summations, AI search models, whatever you want to call it. All right. Last but not least, Elon and OpenAI are fighting again. Why? So Elon Musk's attorneys have filed for a preliminary injunction against OpenAI, its co-founders, and Microsoft, claiming anti-competitive behavior. So yes, this is brand new. If you're like, wait, I've heard you talk about this before. Well, this is just a preliminary injunction, a new one. So the motion was filed in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California, and it accuses OpenAI and its associates of illicit activities and seeks to halt them. So, allegations include discouraging investors from backing OpenAI's rivals, like Elon Musk's own AI company, XAI, right? Makers of the Grok chatbot that I don't know anyone that uses. So, the filing also claims OpenAI's conversion to a for-profit entity and self-dealing transactions harm marketplace competition. So Musk's legal team argues that irreparable harm will occur if the injunction isn't granted, aiming to preserve OpenAI's nonprofit character. The lawsuit revives Musk's previous legal battles with OpenAI, accusing the company of straying from its original nonprofit mission. So Musk was obviously a co-founder of OpenAI and left in 2018 over disagreements about the company's direction, and then later founded XAI. And XAI recently announced a $5 billion funding round, positioning it as one of the most funded AI companies globally. So this injunction alleges OpenAI's actions deprive XAIs of capital by extracting commitments from investors not to fund competitors. So OpenAI is backed by Microsoft with a reported $13 billion investment, faces accusations of illegally sharing proprietary information and engaging in self-dealing. So Musk's attorneys argue that maintaining OpenAI's nonprofit status is crucial to protect its founding mission and public interests. OpenAI spokespersons dismiss Musk's claim as baseless, stating the lawsuit lacks merit. So I don't know. I'm not going to go too far into this. I did an entire episode once that talked about this original lawsuit and just kind of I poked more holes in it than, Swiss cheese at the grocery store. This doesn't make sense. What Elon Musk is saying makes absolutely no sense. And if I had to agree here, I'm obviously siding with OpenAI. Okay, because Elon Musk is claiming that, making these anti-competitive claims and is essentially saying OpenAI is forming a monopoly. They're too big, too good, no one can compete, and we can't raise money, right? Because what Elon Musk is saying, well, Sam Altman and OpenAI here are asking investors not to invest in other AI companies, which we've reported on. So, I mean, they can, right? At least from what we've seen in reportings, there's no legal agreement that says they cannot. At least the reporting we've seen has said that OpenAI is asking its biggest investors not to invest in its rivals, which seems like common sense, right? If you're cashing $1 billion check from someone, you probably want to hope that that same investor is not funding one of your rivals. But also, this doesn't make sense because Elon Musk is also founding XAI in this Grok AI chatbot, right? So on the left hand, Elon Musk is saying Grok is going to be the most powerful AI model in the world, right? And he's building all these, compute gigafactories, right? Or whatever he's saying with like 1 trillion NVIDIA GPU chips, right? So on the left hand, he's saying, oh, Grok, like our AI chatbot is one of the best in the world, and it's got to be the most powerful. So the left hand, you're saying kind of like, hey, we're the best. I'm the best. Grok is the best. But then on the right hand in court, you're saying, oh, it's anti-competitive. No one can compete. So is Elon Musk's left hand talking to his right hand? Doesn't seem like it. And that's why a lot of people are writing off this lawsuit, even though people are going to be talking about it a lot. I don't know. I'd have to side with OpenAI and say this lacks merit. It's very legal for a nonprofit company to go through proceedings to convert to a for-profit company. And the timing of this lawsuit, like Fred said, particularly interesting timing here. Michael just saying, "OMG, Musk, let it go, facepalm." Shannon says loves the rambling. All right, well we will wrap the rambling up. So real quick here, the quick too long didn't listen version of AI news. So OpenAI's SORA AI tool was leaked after some artist backlash. Anthropic shipped a lot. They shipped their new model context protocol, as well as their new customizable writing styles. We saw a new reasoning model from Alibaba's Qwen team called QWQ32B. Uber is apparently venturing into AI development outsourcing with its scaled solutions. NVIDIA released a new model called Fugato, an audio model that does a bunch of crazy things. The AI video companies went completely bonkers over our kind of quote unquote Thanksgiving break here in the US, with Luma Labs, LTX Video, and Runway all releasing a bunch of things. Speaking of releasing, a bunch of robots followed each other apparently out the door. So, some weird things to worry about when it comes to AI robots talking and working with each other. 11 Labs released Gen FM, offering a very similar feature or capability to Notebook LM's audio overviews. OpenAI is considering advertising, so we might be seeing a bunch of ad results in ChatGPT soon, according to reports. And then last but not least, Elon Musk is seeking a new injunction against OpenAI and Microsoft, alleging anti-competitive practices. All right, that's it, y'all. I hope this was helpful. If so, tell someone about it. Don't be a jerk. Share the love, y'all. So if you are listening here on the live stream, go ahead and click that repost button, tag a friend, someone that needs to hear this. If you're listening on the podcast, please make sure you follow the show. Click that follow button or whatever that button says. And if you could, leave us a rating. That would be great as well. All right. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, go to youreverydayai.com. Like I said, we will be recapping not just today's podcast. We reference a lot of things, videos, all these new releases. You can go read about them, see them, watch them. It'll all be in our newsletter as well as on our website, youreverydayai.com. It is a free generative AI university. You can sort all of our past episodes by category, whatever you want to learn. We have it there. Thank you for tuning in. Hope to see you back tomorrow and every day for more Everyday AI. Thanks, y'all.